All right, good start so far. We got a chance to interact with our players last night and this morning. Good group, very attentive. They're ready to get going, and they're going to take advantage of this opportunity. So our staff is excited. It's a great time for our staff here to get up close and personal with a lot of these players that you wouldn't otherwise get that experience in this league. So we plan to take advantage of it and are excited to get through the week.
What do you notice when you've watched Herbert tape?
Big, strong arm, hard to bring down. He can make plays with his feet as well. So again, all the impressive tools that you're looking for in a top quarterback in the draft. So excited to spend time with him this week and get a feel for where he is mentally. I mean, we know it's reported, but again, that's one of the advantages of coaching the Senior Bowl. You get a chance to coach the guy in meetings, see how quickly he takes the information to the meetings, to the field. And so excited to work with him and the rest of the quarterbacks. I do agree with that. I do think over the years, quarterback coaches, coordinators have to be more open-minded to what an NFL quarterback looks like. And certainly there's been guys in the past that are great athletes and have been historically great players at that position. But there was kind of a model that you always looked for, big, tall, strong, drop-back guy who can throw from the pocket. But now you're seeing the game really evolve. And a lot of the plays are being made on extended plays. And so you do like it when those guys can extend the plays and create something that's not always there when you call the play. So I would say that you've had to be open-minded because a lot of these young quarterbacks have had a lot of success doing the things you just mentioned. Make plays down the field, certainly, and be aware of how to help the quarterback. Not get out of phase with them. Certainly every team kind of has their own rules that they follow. So it's really something that's you talk about with the group to make sure everyone's on the same page. But some guys do have a great feel for that, great knack for it. And maybe it's because of how they play their college offense. Maybe they played with a quarterback that scrambles a lot and has a lot of extended plays. But that's something we spend a lot of time talking about. Second year, it's a chance to calm down a little bit. You go through right now the guys that just graduated and played their last game in college. Now they're focused on impressing everybody, so they're throwing a bunch. The Senior Bowl, the Shrine Game, getting ready for the Combine, training the 40s. Then they get drafted by a team, and they're worried about impressing their coaches and the players, so they're just throwing like crazy. And if they don't do a great job managing their arm, it can wear down as the season progresses if they have to play. And so year two, you get a chance to take that break when you play your last game, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs, and you don't have to report back until April, and you're really not throwing with the team until May. So you get a chance to kind of recover a little bit, and that's one thing that these young quarterbacks just have to understand as they go through this process is you want to make sure you're fresh. The most important thing is to be fresh and ready to go for the season.
Is that recovery more physical or is it also mental and emotional?
Both, because you get a chance. There's a lot of unknown as a rookie going into the season. What coverage structures you're going to face, what defensive structures you're going to face, how your teammates are going to respond to you. There's just a lot of unknowns, and so you get a chance to get through that 16-game schedule, and now you get that mental and physical recovery because now you know what you're in for, and you know what it takes to get through a full year, and so that's why going into year two is always critical for those guys. Well, I certainly understand. I mean, the guy just played an NFL season, all those LSU guys did. And so we always are looking for any advantage we can get with any player in this process. So any chance we get it to be around them earlier, in January as opposed to the Combine is always great, but certainly understand when some guys choose not to play.
What would it have meant to the staff had you been able to get a week with him here?
Well, again, it's just another opportunity to get face-to-face with these guys over a 5-day week. And there's still plenty of time to get to know all the players in the draft, before April rolls around. So, again, this is just kind of a bonus for our staff this week.
How much can Joe Burrow, Brandon Post
certainly had a great season, and so we're still going through the process of evaluating him. A lot of other guys that are worried of those high picks. But again, certainly to go undefeated, win the national championship, be the leader he is, that stuff is really impressive. And so they just played an NFL season. That's really what's most impressive about all those guys. Some of them are here. That's a long year, and those guys are going to be ready for the NFL when they face the grind that our scheduling is.
Zach, just for one more piggyback off of that, about the kind of style that he ran at LSU, how does that benefit what he could do on the field?
Well, a lot of the game, guys play under center, but not as much as it was probably 10, 15 years ago. Now a lot of the teams, you play primarily in the gun, which is what they did. So that's a lot of the quarterbacks we got on the roster right now in this Senior Bowl, played in the gun. So we'll put them under center a little bit and see what they can do there. But, again, there's still plenty of time this offseason for those guys to start training that way and get comfortable playing under center.
Zach, this is regarded as a very deep wide receiver draft. Is the expectation now as an NFL coach to get real production out of the receiver in year one? Because, years past, it takes 2 or 3 years from now.
I think overall, the amount of players that are drafted, receivers that are drafted, it still is in that second or third year you start to see some big jumps from some guys. Some guys certainly are able to come in, maybe because of the depth at that position on the team that they're in, and they can play right away and have great production. But again, we're looking for guys this week that can learn, have that natural receiving ability, and really challenge the DBs that we're facing this week. So that's something I'm really excited to see is these receivers. How they handle the one-on-ones, how they handle the terminology that we throw at them, and it'll be a big week for those guys.
To that end, how difficult or easy is it to evaluate cornerbacks in this type of setting?
We're not playing a lot of coverages, so typically they're just in man coverage or cover 3, so you don't challenge them a lot in that way. But again, it's a great opportunity for us to see the competitiveness of these guys up close and in person in practice, see how they retain the information in the meetings. Those are things that we feel like we get a great advantage coaching the game this week.
How much is an advantage of having a guy like Brad on staff in terms of figuring out Joe's jump from 2018 when he was there to what he did this year? Because it seems like it was a pretty seismic leap. Do you have questions about that? Can Brad help answer some of that?
Yeah, it's always good when you have coaches that are familiar with the players, give you that insight into what their approach is, their preparation, their character. We certainly will spend a lot of time calling college coaches that we trust, that we know and have relationships with, and gathering that information. But it's good. A guy like Brad Kirkthorpe is a great asset for us.
Is your offensive system being so intricate, how much are you implementing this week? And how do you value them being able to pick up the system?
Well, the rules keep it pretty simple. There's only certain things we're allowed to do. And so we just want to see these guys play fast, play with confidence. So we'll install a couple things that challenge them mentally to see who can process it, pick it up, and take it to the field quickly. But for the most part, we want a chance to see their skills really shine through and get an up close and personal look at these guys.
Zach, what are some of the hidden value for you as a coach in this week? And obviously, you didn't see his guys in the practice field. For you, what are some of the things maybe that we all don't see that you think is valuable toward evaluating the process?
Yeah, well, we get a chance to know exactly what we're coaching and installing in the meeting rooms. If you're not coaching in the Senior Bowl, you don't get that opportunity. So there's only 2 staffs that get that, and then see how quickly they take it to the field. And otherwise, you're really just watching the tape and making your own assumptions on what they're being told to do. But we know we can see guys answer questions in the meetings, who studied the night before. Again, those may be small things in some regard, but it does go a long way in our evaluation with a lot of these players. Is we get a chance for 6-7 days to get an up close and personal look at these guys and figure out what their ability to retain information, their character is in the classroom. Those are all things that we're really paying attention to.
Zach, when Coach Jim was talking last night about the Raiders coming in last year, they were bringing 11 players from last year's game onto their roster. What's the importance of just being able to spend quality time with players, not just on your roster, but also on Detroit's roster, for you to get a better advantage at who to beat?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons we were excited to do this because, again, otherwise you don't get a chance to see how players interact with their coaches in the meetings, respond to coaching on the field. Otherwise, you get the combine, you get a chance to go to their pro days. That stuff is usually pretty scripted out for them. You get a chance to really challenge them and get a chance to coach them one-on-one. And so you get a chance to see how they respond that you otherwise wouldn't get.
What is the buzz about Jalen Hurts? He's obviously had a lot of success for 2 elite programs, but kind of what do you want to see from him?
Well, he's been successful everywhere he's been, and he really is a little bit like an NFL quarterback in a sense that he had to go quickly and pick up an offense and, really prove himself as a leader at a new program in a short period of time, which he did. Had a great year. And so those are things that we get a chance now to see in person, get to know the kid a little bit more. But excited about Jalen. He certainly had a great college career and just put himself in good position.
You see the 49ers here a year ago, the number 2 pick, end up in the Super Bowl. Is that the type of path you think your team can take in the coming years?
That's certainly our objective, and we know that we've got to improve in a lot of ways the next year, just like San Francisco did. But it's exciting to see a team follow that path, and of course that's the ultimate goal.
To that, obviously, you've seen a couple of the guys kind of hidden gems that they found here. That's obviously something you have to be looking forward to in that sense.
Yeah, it's one more resource we get a chance to utilize that not everybody's going to get a chance to do, and so we're going to make the most of it.
As you go through the evaluation process with Joe Burrow, how much do you look at potentially meeting with some of his teammates that are here this week and kind of picking their brain on it?
That's something over the 4-month process that we'll do, not just with one particular guy, but as many players as we can. And you get a chance to be around their teammates, and you want to ask them about their other teammates and get a feel for them. And again, same process we follow when we go into the school and our scouts try to uncover that information. And again, it's just all you want to uncover exactly what type of player you're going to get in April if you do draft that player. And so again, we'll take full advantage of all the resources we can have. A great season. Certainly has a lot of great traits that you'd be excited about as a coach. Still going through the evaluation process with him. And just like all these other quarterbacks here, it's a chance to see them up close in person, how quickly they retain the information that we give them, how they take it to the field. It's just there's still a lot of things left that we gotta cross off before making these decisions.
And to that end, what about Chase Young obviously being higher? Maybe we get to see him play a little more than other guys. Any thoughts on him and kind of how he fits in with what you guys are going to look for this offseason?
Yeah, certainly an impact player. Probably the day he gets selected. Just another great defensive end that's come out of that program. Those guys have before him had immediate success when they got into the league. They're ready to go, and would expect him to be no different.
There's always this belief that even if another guy is maybe rated higher than a quarterback, it's pretty tough to pass on a quarterback if you need one. Is that a fair way to look at it, that quarterback ultimately kind of trumps no matter what else is out there?
I think every team's different. I don't want to speak for other teams, and certainly we have made no decision in that area yet. You just want to find the best way to help your team be successful.
Coach, what are the
One
things
more
you do
minute, please.
structuring practice with your coaching staff to try to get as good an evaluation of these players as you can? Maybe seeing some of the things that they weren't asked to do in college to see if they can do it in an NFL setting?
Yeah, you do. And a big part of the evaluation is how these guys compete, and one-on-ones, pass rush drills, things like that. So you want to make sure you structure it to where you get enough time for our staff to get an evaluation, the rest of the league to get an evaluation. Again, our bonus is that we get a chance to see these guys in the meetings that not everybody else does. And but on the field, we want to make sure these guys get a chance to get plenty of reps and put their best foot forward as they compete against other great players.
Just 2 more questions, please.
Zach, you mentioned quarterbacks going off script and extending the plays, especially recently. Pat Mahomes may be the best in the league doing that right now. As a play caller, former quarterback coach, how do you value that? How do you plan for a guy beating the play after the play?
It's a great weapon if you got it. Just watching the Chiefs play the other day, man. I mean, that guy was making some throws down the field in some critical moments of the play that, whether he's just buying a little bit more time to make sure that the concept can develop. Again, it's a great trait to have for the offense. It gives you a chance for more explosive plays, which you need in order to score more points and be successful. You got to create those explosive plays, and so that when they come off script, that's oftentimes something you have a hard time coaching. It just happens.
Most teams
Last
have
question.
the number 1 pick. They have a business approach. There's a report that came out last week from Adam Schefter that says you guys, there's no trading that number 1 pick. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but what is the mindset when you do have that number 1 pick?
We're just starting the process of evaluating who's worthy of that pick, and no decisions have been made on what we're going to do with it or how we're going to approach it. I certainly think you want to leave everything on the table. And again, we're still in January. We got till April to figure it all out. So we're just using this week as a tool to make sure we can make the right decisions going forward.
So you are open for business.
We've made no decisions on our approach whatsoever.